Sup everybody, James here with the video review of Transformers Prime Voyager Megatron. Now, before I get into this review, like my Hunt for the Decepticons sidearm sideswipe, I need to inform you, the viewers, if you do not already have this figure, then this is a customized version of Megatron. Basically, what I mean by that is I've given this guy a mostly fully complete body repaint, so please be aware of that. Now, I'm gonna ignore the color part for now, but I'm just gonna talk about the vehicle mode in general. For the most part, this is a very nice looking jet form. It's very Cybertronian-like. There's a lot of nice detail going on here. Now, as I said before, there was because I painted over most of this. Although I can see it, I doubt you can because of the brightness and everything. But you can just about vividly make out a Decepticon symbol right there. If you can't see it, I apologize, but that's what I can see right now. But never mind. Moving on from that, it's actually a pretty nice Cybertronian jet form. As I said, there's a lot of detail going on. There are just two minor issues that I have with this. The first is visible head syndrome. Of course, that is following along the lines of the first and second movie Megatron. And the other issue that I have is, like a lot of people, the giant honking cannon. However unfortunate. But nonetheless, it is a very nice looking jet form. We have the nice translucent purple, just spinning around. We do, unfortunately, have a little bit of robot kibble here. We actually have the feet, the visible hands. Oh, sorry. We have the visible hands. Let me just fix the camera. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, we have the visible hands, the visible feet. In fact, this entire section here is the leg, so that's a shame. But nonetheless, very nice detailed jet form. And yeah, so if we now the cannon here actually is plugged into the back, right here, via this peg. And so here's the cannon. Now you can notice the arm blade, the sword blades here. They spin around and form the sword at the front, which you do pushing in on this. So now, because the paint, it's actually dried up in a lot of places, so I would just fold these round to the front, like so. But nonetheless, there is the sword. It's very nice. It's nicely detailed. Now the cannon, despite being huge, is nicely detailed, aside from, again, the paint. But yeah. Now, for my customization for the cannon, I pretty much gave this thing an entire repaint. I painted the sword in a steel color, as it's called. I actually blended the purple to get a purple together, which I used for most of the figure. Unfortunately, this looks a little bit too bright. Not only on camera but off camera, but it's okay. There's silver highlights. And then there's a nice sort of metallic light blue that I used as the Energon. And I must say, that is a phenomenal looking Energon colour. Now, unfortunately, I forget exactly how much of each colour I was meant to use, but I'll figure it out in the future. So yeah. So, gun aside, this is the other accessory that came with Megatron. Now, I haven't customized this because I lost it during the customizing, and I only found it not that long ago. But basically, here is... Wait, what is this thing? Oh yes, I remember now. A pathetic version of a nunchuck. Or no, well, a knuckle duster, in fact, I don't even know what the hell this thing is. Excuse the language, but basically, I have had a little bit of thought as to what to do with this. I've had a little bit of think about it, and if I cut off these bits here, and maybe these bits, and was actually able to plug the use this little handle here to tap into another figure's hand. This could actually serve as a nice polarity gauntlet. If you've seen Transformers Prime Season 1 Episode 18, Metal Attraction, you'll know what I'm on about. God, I'm such a nerd. Oh well. Now, oops. Sorry about that, got stuck there. Now you can actually, using a little peg in the knuckle duster, you can actually plug it into the gun. I don't want to ruin the paint on mine, and you can pretty much have it all in vehicle mode. This in vehicle mode looks useless. Now that was unexpected, no joke. But yeah. Now, taking off the gun, let's move into the transformation, because I've already spent the last 6 minutes in vehicle mode. So, first things first. First thing you want to do is untab the legs from this point here, on either side. Then, taking these pieces here, fold them forward, and kind of taking the underpart out from beneath the wing, fold it up. So, fold out. Oh dear. Yeah, some parts are on sockets, or on ball joints, so some may intend to come off. Now, please cooperate. Please cooperate. There we go. So basically, now you can actually put these down, which I should have done in the first place, but there you go. Now, folding these back down, you actually want to split this section and fold them back, revealing the head. Fold this forward, and then fold these up. Okay, so just as a little bit of a reminder, now please remember this peg is just supported in here by blue tack, or whatever you want to call it, and then just fold these up. Okay, then fold these pieces up here. Now, taking the very front of the jet, basically fold these sections out and up. Then taking this little panel, fold it up, and it'll tap into place. There. Then taking the entire undersection through this piece, you want to grab it and fold it down all the way, and then it'll just peg into place there. Basically, fold the legs forward, and then rotate this piece around. Then fold in the little spike at the top, fold in, then there's a little gap here that'll tap into place on this peg, so it'll just peg in there, and fold out the foot, and fold out the foot. So, same again. Rotate, fold in, and fold out. Voila! There we have the legs. Now I'm going to need to gain a little bit of height for this, so there we go. Now, for the rest of the transformation, going back to, hopefully that should be okay. Going back to the top here, take the arms and whilst holding this, pull down on the arms, like so. Split the arms, then, taking this little panel here, the arms will rotate out, like so. Fold out. Then, take these panels and fold them inward, and they will form the chest. Then fold the entire section down, the entire back section down, and these little bits here will tap into place here, hopefully. Sorry, my correction. These little bits here will slot in here and here, whilst these little pegs here will slot into these little holes here. So, fold the entire section down, and hopefully this should work out. There we go. Now, again, peg it into the little hole in the back of these armor pieces, and there we have the arms. Well, mostly. Fold these little arm pieces, shoulder blades or armor pieces down. Fold out the arms, spin them around, fold out the hand, spin, fold out, voila. Then for these little pieces here, now you can actually leave them like this, however there is a very simple way to remove them. Whilst pushing in on this little circle, or this little purple bit here, and whilst waving this about, you can actually remove it, so hopefully, there we go. Now please remember that I know what I'm doing, as well as a whole bunch of other people who do this. If the person who owns their own Megatron breaks it, it is not my fault nor my responsibility, but it is the viewers. But now you can peg them back together and keep it like this, so I'm just going to keep this to the side. Now for the final touch, all you need to do is plug in the fusion cannon. And after fixing him up, here we have Megatron in robot mode. Now, the robot mode is incredibly well done. Now, in comparison to a few other Transformers Prime figures, take the likes of Optimus here. Now, Optimus is for the most part very similar to his Transformers Prime counterpart. Of course, there are a few issues, such as the giant honking chest, the arms, the shoulders, and the back. Megatron, on the other hand, has a lot of details that are right about him. He has the correct now, although this is working out for a lot of Power Risers, well, pretty much all of the Power Risers from the Prime line, Megatron is the only one that it actually works out great for, because with the Dark Energon, of course, his arms symbolize that, so does his chest. Now, his head is very, very nicely done. I love the fact that, although you can't see it, he actually has a few little teeth molded in there, which is great. The arm shoulders are very nicely done, as they should be. The back is the only issue that I have. You can fold them in like that, although you can't see them from the front, but nonetheless, it's very, very nicely done. Now, on the standard retail version, there is a little bit of color difference in this area here. There's purple there, as it should be. Most of this is the greyish color that the armor comes in, or the plastic comes in. Then there's a little bit of, I think, either enlightened or darkened detail somewhere about this area, which kind of throws it off a little bit, but in a customized version, it either looks good, or, you do a total custom. Now, there is one issue that I have, and it might be to do with mine. Over just a tiny little bit of time, some of the ball-jointed sections have become a bit loose. The arm ball joint up here has suffered the most. Because of the giant fusion cannon, the arm is of course below the elbow heavy. In fact, look. Well, for the most part, you can stand them up. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out all that well. But nonetheless, it is a nice figure. Now to skip along to get this review over and done with. The head goes side to side. It can go up and down just a tiny little bit, but it's better to go left and right. The arms, they can go forward and back, in and out, just a little, there we go. Now, because of the way the arm is, the little socket here, or the little ball joint is molded in there, it makes it difficult for articulation going outward, but if you find the right place to do so, it can go straight out and up a little bit. The elbow bends, it pivots 360 here, due to the transformation. The only issue again that I have is that this little section isn't connected in correctly to the armor panel. Well, it's not correctly positioned, but it just keeps coming out on a regular basis. But besides that, the hand pivots in and out. No waist articulation, but the legs can go forward and back, in and out, pivot 360 at the top, bend at the elbow, or bend at the knee, sorry, and then the foot itself has a little bit of pivot in it, which is nice. Now, again, with the little nunchuck thing, all you need to do in order to get it into position is putting the hole in his hand through the handle. Now, using the little peg in the nunchuck, you can peg it into this little hole here, and there we have Megatron's supposed nunchuck thing. Nonetheless, it is very nicely detailed, and it is a little bit of a nice add-on to the canon. Now, for the power risers for Transformers Prime, each comes with at least 2 weapons. Optimus with his gun and sword, Megatron with his fusion cannon / sword, and this thing. Starscream comes with his 2 missiles and his fusion cannon. Wait, Starscream comes with 3! Well, he does have 2 missiles, so technically that qualifies as 1 anyway. And in Bulkhead's case, he comes with a really lousy mace type thing, and then hammer-like thing. For Megatron, as you can tell, I have customized him to a certain extent. Now I have highlighted a few. Oh darn! Sometimes it is tricky to get the nunchuck out of his hand. Sometimes, which is why I don't intend to use it a lot, or even display it. On that note, there we go. Now, if I can do this right, now I have highlighted a few things, such as the black highlights on his chest. His feet actually have a darker tone than the rest of his body. I have attempted to paint the inner. Whoops. Oh, come on. Darn. I'm getting really sick of this. I have attempted to paint the face a little bit darker, but so far that hasn't worked out. You know, pretty much all purple there, or all silver there, and then you can see the obvious mods to the gun and sword. Now, here we have the sword, of course, and it looks pretty good. However, if I remove the sword, or the fusion cannon, I can show you his other sword that I created. Voila! My custom Transformers Prime Dark Star Saber. Now this is a good sword. For me, this presents the right sort of proportions that the Dark Star Saber on the show has. The black handle, the overall purple, and really the jaggedness. Yes, I know it's not a word, but there's a lot of spiky bits called that. Now the good part is, using this little bit in between the sword and the handle, you can actually peg it into Megatron's hand, which is a great help. Now, although it is angled just a little bit, it is great to see that it actually works out. And for while it is a huge sword, you still can get a few nice poses out of him. Yeah, that's a better example there. Now, I actually have seen the Dr. Wu third-party customs of the fusion cannon, the sword that extends out of it, and the very own Dark Star Saber. If you've no idea who Dr. Wu is, or what I'm after talking about in terms of the fusion cannon and Dark Star Saber, there will be 2 links in the description below. Now, again, besides the obvious customizing, Megatron is a good figure. I mean, other than Soundwave and Wheeljack, and maybe RC, and, well, maybe besides Starscream, or Soundwave, Wheeljack, and maybe RC, Megatron is perhaps one of the best figures out of the Transformers Prime line. Now, for while Optimus is still a good character, or a good toy rather, he still himself has issues. Megatron, on the other hand, he seems to mimic his Transformers Prime counterpart, or his TV counterpart, a lot better than some of the others. Which is why, other than what I've done to him, I would give this guy a solid 9.5. Now, just to finish the review off, I can actually take the Dark Star Saber, and using the little holes in the sword to my advantage, and this little peg from earlier, I can actually peg the sword in there, and so that makes it a lot easier for storage. And it works out pretty well if you ask me, but in the end, there can only be one sword, and that belongs to his fusion cannon. Unfortunately, time has had its toll on this figure, and the ball joints are starting to get quite loose. Now, I have heard a few tips here and there that if you actually take the arms off and put super glue in them, let it dry and just sand them out a little bit, it actually helps to increase restriction on it. So I might actually try that at some point. But no, but I am liking this figure a lot. But in the end, this is Megatron, and this is James here saying, subscribe to my channel for videos and more. Like me on Facebook by searching for Knight/2020 Junior. Have a nice day, see you all around, and until next time, see you guys.